Have you ever wondered what really sets a law apart from a rule or a policy? These terms are often used interchangeably in everyday conversation, but they actually have distinct meanings and serve different purposes in society. In this video, we'll break down the differences between laws, rules, and policies, exploring how each one operates, who creates them, and what happens when they're broken. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of these important concepts and why they matter in our daily life. Let's start with laws. Laws are formal rules established by governments and enforced by official institutions, like the police and courts. They are designed to maintain order, protect rights, and ensure justice within a society. Laws are written down in legal codes and apply to everyone within a particular jurisdiction. Breaking a law can result in serious consequences, such as fines, imprisonment, or other penalties. Laws are created through legislative processes and are binding on all citizens, regardless of their personal beliefs or preferences. Now, let's talk about rules. Rules are guidelines or instructions that govern behavior within specific groups, organizations, or situations. Unlike laws, rules are not created by governments, but by individuals or groups in authority, such as schools, clubs, or workplaces. Rules help maintain order and set expectations, but the consequences for breaking them are usually less severe than for breaking laws. For example, breaking a school rule might result in detention, not jail time. Rules can be changed more easily than laws and often reflect the values or goals of the group that creates them. Policies are a bit different. A policy is a set of principles or guidelines adopted by organizations, businesses, or governments to guide decisions and achieve specific goals. Policies are not laws, but they can influence how laws and rules are applied. For instance, a company might have a policy about remote work, outlining who can work from home and under what conditions. Policies help ensure consistency and fairness in decision-making, but breaking a policy usually leads to internal consequences, like a warning or disciplinary action, rather than legal penalties. Laws are created by legislative bodies, such as parliaments, congresses, or local councils. These bodies debate, draft, and vote on proposed laws, which are then enforced by the government. The process is often lengthy and involves multiple steps, including public input and review by legal experts. Once a law is passed, it becomes binding on everyone within the jurisdiction. This formal process ensures that laws are carefully considered and reflect the needs and values of the broader society. Rules are established by people or groups in positions of authority within a specific context. For example, a school principal sets school rules, a coach sets team rules, and a company manager sets workplace rules. These rules are tailored to the needs and goals of the group and can be changed more easily than laws. The authority to make rules comes from the leadership role within the group, not from government power. Policies are created by organizations, businesses, or government agencies to guide internal decisions and actions. Senior management, boards of directors, or policy committees typically develop these guidelines. Policies are designed to align with the organization's mission and objectives, ensuring everyone understands the standards and expectations. While policies can be influenced by laws and regulations, they are not laws themselves. Enforcement of laws is carried out by official agencies such as the police, courts, and regulatory bodies. When someone breaks a law, they may be arrested, tried in court, and face penalties like fines or imprisonment. The enforcement process is formal and follows strict procedures to ensure fairness and justice. This helps maintain order and protect the rights of all citizens. Rules are enforced by the authority figures within the group or organization that created them. For example, teachers enforce school rules, while managers enforce workplace rules. The consequences for breaking rules are usually less severe than for breaking laws and might include warnings, loss of privileges, or temporary suspension. Enforcement is typically more flexible and tailored to the situation. Policies are enforced internally by the organization that created them. This might involve supervisors, HR departments, or policy committees. When someone violates a policy, the response is usually an internal disciplinary action, such as a warning, retraining, or even termination in serious cases. Unlike laws, policy enforcement does not involve the police or courts unless the policy violation also breaks a law. Breaking a law can have serious consequences, including arrest, fines, community service, or imprisonment. The severity of the punishment depends on the nature of the offense and the legal system in place. Legal penalties are designed to deter harmful behavior and protect society as a whole. Once convicted, individuals may also face long-term consequences, such as a criminal record, which can impact future opportunities. When someone breaks a rule, the consequences are usually less severe and are determined by the group or organization. These might include a warning, loss of privileges, or temporary suspension. The goal is often to correct behavior and maintain order rather than to punish harshly. Rule violations rarely result in legal action unless they also break a law. Violating a policy typically leads to internal disciplinary measures, such as a verbal or written warning, retraining, or even dismissal in serious cases. The aim is to ensure compliance with organizational standards and maintain a positive work environment. Policy violations do not usually result in legal consequences, unless they also involve breaking a law. Let's look at some examples of laws. Traffic laws, such as speed limits and stop signs, are enforced by the police and apply to all drivers. Criminal laws, like those against theft or assault, are designed to protect people and property. Environmental laws regulate pollution and resource use to protect the planet. These laws are written, public, and enforced by the government. Rules can be found in many settings. For example, a school might have a rule that students must wear uniforms. A sports team might have rules about attendance at practice. Even families often set rules about chores or screen time. These rules are specific to the group and help maintain order and fairness. Policies are common in workplaces and organizations. For instance, a company might have a policy on equal opportunity employment, ensuring fair treatment for all staff. Another example is a privacy policy that outlines how customer data is handled. These policies guide decision-making and help organizations operate smoothly and ethically. One key difference between laws and rules is their scope. Laws apply to everyone within a jurisdiction, such as a country or state, and are enforced by government authorities. Rules, on the other hand, only apply to members of a specific group or organization. This means that breaking a law can have much wider consequences than breaking a rule. Authority is another important distinction. Laws are created and enforced by government bodies, giving them legal power. Policies are set by organizations or businesses and only have authority within that context. While policies may be influenced by laws, they do not carry the same legal weight and are enforced internally rather than by the state. Rules and policies both guide behavior, but policies tend to be broader and more flexible. Rules are often specific and detailed, while policies provide general guidelines that can be adapted to different situations. This flexibility allows organizations to respond to changing circumstances without rewriting all their rules. Changing a law is a complex process that usually requires approval from legislative bodies, public consultation, and sometimes even a referendum. This ensures that changes are carefully considered and reflect the will of the people. Because of this, laws tend to be stable and change slowly over time. Rules can usually be changed more easily than laws. The authority figure or group that created the rule can modify or remove it as needed. This allows organizations and groups to adapt quickly to new situations or challenges, ensuring that their rules remain relevant and effective. Policies are also relatively easy to change. Organizations can update their policies to reflect new goals, technologies, or legal requirements. Policy changes are usually made by senior management or policy committees and communicated to all members of the organization. The main purpose of laws is to maintain order, protect individual rights, and promote justice in society. Laws set the minimum standards for acceptable behavior and provide a framework for resolving disputes. By establishing clear rules and consequences, laws help create a safe and fair environment for everyone. Rules are designed to help groups and organizations function smoothly. They set expectations for behavior, promote fairness, and help prevent conflicts. By providing clear guidelines, rules make it easier for everyone to understand what is expected and how to act in different situations. Policies provide a framework for consistent decision-making within organizations. They help ensure that everyone is treated fairly and that the organization's goals are met. Policies also help organizations comply with laws and regulations, reducing the risk of legal problems. A key distinction is that laws are legal requirements, while rules and policies are not. Laws must be followed by everyone and are enforced by the government. Rules and policies, on the other hand, only apply within specific groups or organizations and are enforced internally. This means that breaking a law can have legal consequences, while breaking a rule or policy usually does not. In most cases, laws have the highest authority, followed by policies, and then rules. If a rule or policy conflicts with a law, the law takes precedence. Organizations must ensure that their rules and policies comply with the law to avoid legal issues. A law is a system of rules created and enforced by governmental institutions to regulate behavior. Laws are binding on all individuals within a jurisdiction and are designed to maintain order, protect rights, and promote justice. They are established through formal legislative processes and carry legal consequences for violations. A rule is a prescribed guide for conduct or action, typically established by an authority within a group, organization, or context. Rules are meant to regulate behavior and ensure order within the group, They're not legally binding outside the group and are enforced by the group's leadership. A policy is a set of principles or guidelines adopted by an organization to guide decisions and achieve objectives. Policies provide a framework for consistent action and help ensure that the organization's goals and standards are met. They are not laws, but can be influenced by legal requirements. To help clarify the differences, let's visualize how laws, rules, and policies relate to each other. Imagine 3 concentric circles. The largest represents laws, applying to everyone. The middle circle represents policies, guiding organizations, and the smallest circle represents rules specific to groups within organizations. This visual can help you remember the scope and authority of each. Let's apply these concepts to a school setting. The law requires children to attend school up to a certain age. The school might have a policy about attendance, outlining procedures for excused absences. Within the classroom, the teacher sets rules about raising hands before speaking. Each layer, law, policy, and rule, works together to create a structured environment. In the workplace, employment laws set minimum wage and safety standards. The company may have a policy on workplace conduct, such as anti-harassment. Within a department, a manager might set rules about meeting times or dress code. This layered system ensures both legal compliance and smooth operations. On a sports team, laws ensure fair play and safety, such as anti-doping regulations. The league may have policies about player eligibility or game scheduling. The coach sets team rules about punctuality and practice attendance. Each level supports the team's success and integrity. For an online platform, laws regulate data, privacy, and intellectual property. The platform has policies on user content and moderation. Individual forums or groups may set their own rules about posting or behavior. This structure helps keep the platform safe, legal, and welcoming for users. Understanding the difference between laws, rules, and policies is important for knowing your rights and responsibilities. It helps you navigate different environments, whether at work, school, or online, and ensures you know what is expected of you. It also helps organizations create fair and effective systems for everyone. People often confuse these terms because they all involve regulating behavior. However, the source of authority, scope, and consequences are different. Recognizing these differences can help you respond appropriately in different situations and avoid unnecessary trouble. Sometimes, laws, rules, and policies can overlap. For example, a workplace policy might require compliance with safety laws, and a rule might reinforce that policy. In these cases, breaking a rule or policy could also mean breaking the law, leading to both internal and legal consequences. As society changes, so do laws, rules, and policies. New technologies, social movements, and global events can all prompt updates. Staying informed about these changes helps you remain compliant and aware of your rights and responsibilities. Let's summarize the key differences in a simple table. Laws are created by governments, apply to everyone, and have legal consequences. Rules are set by groups, apply to members, and have internal consequences. Policies are set by organizations, guide decisions, and have internal consequences. This table can help you quickly recall the distinctions. Imagine someone is caught stealing from a store. This is a violation of criminal law. The police are called, the person is arrested, and they may face charges in court. The consequences are serious and can include fines or jail time. This scenario shows the power and reach of laws in society. Now, imagine a student uses their phone in class against school rules. The teacher confiscates the phone and gives a warning. There are no legal consequences, but the student learns to follow the rules to avoid further trouble. This example highlights the internal nature of rule enforcement. Consider an employee who violates the company's internet use policy by visiting non-work-related websites. The manager issues a warning or restricts internet access. There are no legal consequences, but the employee is reminded of the company's expectations and the importance of following policies. To sum up, laws, rules, and policies all play important roles in shaping behavior and maintaining order. Laws are formal, government-enforced, and carry legal consequences. Rules are group-specific and enforced internally. Policies guide organizations and ensure consistency. Understanding these differences helps you navigate life more confidently and responsibly. Thanks for joining us as we explore the differences between laws, rules, and policies. Remember, knowing these distinctions can help you understand your rights, meet your responsibilities, and contribute positively to your community. Stay informed, stay responsible, and you'll be well equipped to handle any situation that comes your way.